Here checking out the YNW Melly trial and stuff, and I left comments like he's not gonna get away. He's not gonna beat this case. He's going to prison. Here they come under my comment section. Oh, SouFLoTV, you praising Vybz Kartel and hoping that he get free, but his case is just like the YNW Melly case. So why you not keeping the same energy? You need to keep the same energy because they both the same thing. Or I want YNW Melly to be free. Kartel should stay in there. Alright. I figured I needed to do this video. Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. Listen, this video right here, I am going to be doing... People been saying, SouFlo, how come you don't do the videos where you sit and talk anymore? Like, you go live and then you give us some behind the scenes stuff, but you don't do these anymore. So I said, okay, let me do some of these videos. Let me see if I can catch some more of my background in here or not. Alright, here we go. This video today, we're going to be comparing the YNW Melly trial to the Vybz Kartel trial. Trial. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm crossing cultures right now. So you might hear me even switch my accent up. People used to hate that when I first started doing YouTube. If you're going to be Jamaican, just talk. Dog, if you're going to be Jamaican, just chat like a Jamaican. No. Then the other person will be like, why you keep mixing your accent like that? If you're American, just speak like an American. If you're Jamaican, just use your Jamaican accent. But that's switching in between. Well, over the years, we've taken care of that. And people understand that we're from both and we rep both. So that is what it is. If you can't stand it, then left. Right? If you don't like it, leave. Here we go. I realize that Vybz Kartel has a lot of enemies. Vybz Kartel has a lot of enemies. Listen to me. Kartel have a lot of admirers, but he got a lot of haters on social media. And, you know, pardon my language and everything, but me that gonna say, not for the same girl them where you see on certain, like in an Observer comment section or something. I see Observer put out father songs for Father's Day, a list. Christopher Martin, this person, that person, you know, and boom, Vybz Kartel up on the list. So I'm checking the comment section and one girl said, this is just deplorable. Observer has gone to the dogs. When you put a murderer on your Father's Day list, what kind of example is this you're setting? And I said to myself, I bet if I check that girl's life right now, she either have a baby daddy when not supporting picnic, or she have a man where she have to cheat on cause she can't be honest with him and she don't, you know, she rule him. Or some kind of it's like people come on social media and they talk bad about people who are doing way better than them. I don't know if you know it, but you seen Vybz Kartel youth them? Them youth, they are growing up in luxury life, my friend. And them youth, they know who their father is. And their father is able to provide for them even from prison way better than a lot of people are providing for theirs out in the road. And I think that's where a lot of the jealousy and all that comes from more times still. But addressing the Kartel haters, because they're following me around and you can't get away from them no more. We're dealing with this thing called the internet. So you ever looked at a net? Yeah, everybody caught up in the internet. So wherever my comments are, there they are as well. So I'm over here checking out the YNW Melly trial and stuff. And I left comments like he's not going to get away. He's not going to beat this case. He's going to prison. Here they come under my comment section. Oh, SouFLoTV, you praising Vybz Kartel and hoping that he get free, but his case is just like the YNW Melly case. So why you not keeping the same energy? You need to keep the same energy because they both the same thing. Or I want YNW Melly to be free. Kartel should stay in there. Alright, I figured I needed to do this video. I want you to compare the two cases. See, the thing about me is this, right? People who don't like Kartel, they will say, oh, you are a fan of Vybz Kartel, that's why you're hoping for him to get free. And I'm trying to tell them to their face, like, no can't hold me and beat me, you know, unless you don't want to fight. So what I say is what I say. No can't tell me different, right? I'm telling you to your face that if Vybz Kartel prosecutors had brought in the type of evidence which was shown in the YNW Melly trial, favorite artists are not, I would have just had to throw my hands in the air. In other words, I deal with justice. And I deal with justice through proof. I want solid proof. I don't want to be a part of the group of people who and create a system where people could be hauled off to prison and given life sentences without proper proof. Because you know, that always rolls back on the poorer class of people, which I'm from. None of my people them know gold spoon in their mouth. Everybody is doing okay today, but we coming from far, and we still have far to go. We haven't reached the top. We don't rub elbows with when the Prime Minister of Jamaica. We don't go to the same parties. We are not certain people, right? So we're still seen as one of those that they can easily turn on and do things to and justify it. So when we speak for the normal average citizen of the country, you understand? All right. With that said, I've studied the case, man, from day one till now and kept all my notes and done countless videos over the years. Let me walk you through the YNW Melly case. I'm going to tell you in short why it's different from Vybz Kartel case. Vybz Kartel case has no DNA evidence linking him to anywhere even close to. The only thing that's in Vybz Kartel case is called circumstantial evidence. And yes, in certain countries and in certain cases and places, when circumstantial evidence starts to stack, it has to stack. You can't just grab somebody on one piece of circumstantial evidence. It has to stack and tell a story, right? And if it stacks and tells the story, then it could look like it's that person that did it. It's still not solid, but it could look like it's that person that did it. In Vybz Kartel case, the only piece of circumstantial evidence they had was the piece of evidence that was tampered with. People are not following the case, so they forget. They forget that that voice note, an expert, forensic expert, digital forensic expert, flew into the country and did his thing, right? Observing, inspecting piece of evidence. That piece of evidence was a couple of things. One, according to his expert finding, was heavily tampered with. That's one. Two, metadata shows that that piece of evidence or piece of recording that was presented as evidence was actually created way before the time period when all the stuff was going on with Lizard. Now, with that alone, there's nothing to stand on. I ask people all the time, don't you know that when you are accused and you go to court, right? It is not your responsibility to prove what the prosecution is saying is wrong. It is the prosecution. Go get your lawyer friend and ask him right now. It is the prosecution's responsibility to prove that what they said happened, happened. So, now walk you into the YNW Melly case through the Vybz Kartel case. Pay attention. It is the prosecutor's responsibility to prove what they said happened, actually happened. That's how they're supposed to get a conviction, right? If them say, SouFLo cut off the man head over there on 6th Street yesterday. Well, them say happened on 6th Street. They said how it happened, to cut off the man head. They have to now stack the proof to show that that's exactly what it was that happened. In Vybz Kartel case, they said a particular house was used as the murder site, right? And inside of that particular house, the same house will catch a fire. Inside of that particular house, someone was beaten with a pickaxe stick and bludgeoned with the pickaxe and then dismembered. This is prosecution. This is their theory of what happened. There was no bloody couch. Like in the Donnelly, Donaldson. That's why Noel Maitland should never be looking at coming out. There was no bloody couch in Vybz Kartel case where they had to go. You must understand that if you bludgeon somebody with a pickaxe and dismember them and all that, blood is going to be everywhere. And if you do a little bit of research and study into forensics, you will know that there are certain lightings and certain technology that they use that can detect blood. Even years down the road can detect blood, even when you wash the whole place with bleach. Yes, my friend. So, my question is, if the prosecution in Vybz Kartel case claims that that's what happened in that house, why did that house get bulldozed so fast? Why did they not secure the perimeters of that house and say, we have to hold this house here because a murder took place here, we believe, and we want our forensics team to go in here and find where it happened. That way we can prove, said this is where it happened, right? Okay, here is our videotape of them standing around talking. Remember, you know, Kartel artist, Kartel the video. They could have been planning a damn video, right? Go for them anyway. Gaza we go for them. Ain't one of them kind of video there. So somebody is standing there holding that and talking. That don't have nothing to do with tying into that. If they had had that, and then they had sent a forensics team in and they found blood somewhere leaking out of a couch or something, then they went and tested that and came back with a positive match to the individual who they say he did that to. Now we would have what we needed to have for me to say, hey, them get you, right? You did it, go do your time. Had none of that, my friend. In the YNW Melly case, there's just too much evidence. No, they do not need to put a gun in YNW Melly's hand for him to be convicted. They might need to put a gun in his hand for him to get the death penalty, because if they put the gun in his hand, then that says that he is the shooter. So he was the one that was shooting and killing his two friends while his brethren was driving. Listen, they have a video. They asked him first, were you there? Were you with them? Do you know anything about were you around them? He said no, right? When he said no, a video surfaces later of them leaving the studio, a recording studio, and they piled into the same car in the same exact order that forensics says they were sitting in. The video shows YNW Melly getting in behind the driver's seat on the left side. Driver's seat on the left side. His brethren who drove the bodies to the hospital, he was the driver. See, he's on the left side of the car. YNW Melly is sitting behind him on the left side. On the right side of the car, you have the two victims. One in the front, one in the back. The one in the back, forensic shows a burn mark on his head, like when the muzzle of the gun presses to the forehead and squeeze and it burns, right? That close-up of a shot. The one in the front seat, there are 7 holes shooting from left side to the right side. Both victims, fatal wounds, and pretty much all their wounds came from left side going right. Even though their claim is that when they were driving down the street, a car appeared beside them and shot at them, riddled their car with bullets, and they were ducking to survive, and these two guys on the left died, on the right died. Now, if the car pulls up on the right, which they claim it did, and open shots, the two victims would have been shot on the right side of their body. You understand? Okay. Not only that, they told the people them it happened on the highway. They said, where? They said, come. We're going over there. They took a whole team, crime scene team, forensics team over there. They shut down that highway for a radius of 7-8 blocks. You say it happened here? We're shutting down here, down there, up there, all around here. And they did that. They shut down that much of the space and they combed, searched everywhere. It's a drive-by. Not one bullet casing, a car that is shot up, not one piece of glass. Nothing was found. So they realized this incident didn't take place here where they're saying it did. Here's what got them in trouble. They tracked the cell phone. This is how they got the real place where they staged the murder at. They tracked their cell phone, and the cell phone brought them there. And when they got there, that's where they found glass and everything else. You understand? They found the scene. Not only that, the cell phone again, the towers, they pinged it. And it shows Melly, who said he was never with them, being with the two victims and his driver. All four of them, just like how they were seen in the video, leaving the studio, the same way the cell phones were caught on the cell towers, all together. Melly didn't leave their company until right before Bartlin, which is his homie, drove the bodies to the studio, to the hospital, and he cut ways. The cell phone towers even showed that right after they cut ways, he says, I'm gonna walk this way. You go drop the bodies off, right? Tell him it was you got shot up and whatever. The cell phone towers even shows that Melly used his phone to call another rapper named Fredo Bang to come pick him up out there. A bunch of other stuff. But there's so much evidence in this case, it's nothing to compare to what the Vybz Kartel case was. So I would like for people to stop following me around on social media, talking about, oh, you're saying that Melly should go to prison for what he did, but Kartel, you saying free Kartel, you are a hypocrite. It's two different case, blood. Two completely different cases, right? Two completely different cases. And I don't even have to leave. I could go on and on about so much more. But y'all continue to watch this. Just remember this though. 4 guys in a car. The prosecution can prove that you were there, even though they might not be able to prove that you were the one that pulled the trigger. 4 of you are in a car, 2 dead. One of these 2 that are alive drove the other 2 that are dead to the hospital. This one did not show up, okay? But we found out that he was there even after he denied being there. So now we could place him back in the car. 4 guys in a car, 2 end up dead. Shot execution style and shot from behind in the side, back, and in the head, right? Both of them. These 2 cannot go to trial and just walk away. They have to explain to the jury now, how were they with the bodies the whole time? And they don't know anything. Furthermore, why did you lie and say you weren't there? Oh, because you were trying to cover up that you were there. But why would you try to cover up that you were there? Because a murder was committed and I didn't want to be in it. Huh. But you were the only one that was there. So it's either you did it or you saw who did it. You understand? And that's the premise of the Melly, YNW Melly case versus Vybz Kartel case. Let me end this video by saying this though. It's crazy we live in a world, right, where people are serious, man. Like, it's cool now to kill your day one friends. Yeah. And people will still scream free you. It's cool now to actually kill your day one friends. Those are his day one friends in the Melly case. Those are his day one friends. It's cool to kill your day one friends. His fans are saying, I don't care about no evidence. Free that man. Wow. I don't care about no evidence. Free that man. Remember, I haven't started talking to you about all the other evidence that they have that's stacking up against Melly. You'll hear it. Motive. 2 days before, they ended up dead. They had a fight. Melly's homie Sack Chaser was trying to get at his girl, his wifey. Him and that girl had been together for like almost 4 years, right? That's tight. Your homie, who's your day one, you find out sending dick pics to your girl. They had a fight. Now you fight this homie and he beat your ass in front of the same girl. There's a lot of shit going on in that trial. Y'all stay tuned and watch the trial. The trial will be on tomorrow. Today is Monday. The trial comes back on Tuesday. But please stop comparing it to me saying nothing about the Vybz Kartel case, because it's two different cases. And one thing about me is this: I follow information that's factual. I don't go off of feelings, and I don't go off of who I like versus who I don't like. It could be somebody I hate. Hate's a strong word. I don't think there's really anybody I hate. But it could be somebody that I dislike to that degree. I'm still man enough to say, yo, the evidence says that that person didn't do it. Or if it be somebody I really like, I'm still man enough to say, yeah, I like you and all that. I like what you do, but you guilty as hell. Go do your time, right? So let's be rational about this. Big up on yourself, man. Manners and respect. And shout out to my Jamaican people, shout out to my Caribbean people, but shout out to my Caribbean American people too. Because a lot of people be confused. Why y'all talk like that? Man, listen, if you ever lived in New York, especially Brooklyn or Miami or any one of these areas where a lot of Caribbean people at, I'm sure you run into people like me all the time. So please don't make that a big deal either in the comment section. Why you talk like that? Why one minute you speaking English and the next minute you talking that Jamaican stuff where I can't understand what you're saying? Keep up. I'm out. Peace.